Hey YouTube, hey subscribers, thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what an opportunist is and how that applies to narcissism and narcissists. So I'm one of the, I think, few people who actually really enjoys driving. It's kind of fun for me. I get a kick out of it. I'm not going to lie. I do. And because for me, it's kind of like a maze. And I am a safe driver, so, don't worry about that. I'm not out here doing dangerous things. But what I enjoy doing is kind of looking down the road, looking in my rearview mirror, looking to my side, and seeing where the holes are, seeing who's consistently driving very slow or watching who's coming up very fast, and basically plotting and planning my entire pathway down the highway. And as a result, I get a lot done in a day. I do. I'm a very efficient person and I accomplish a lot of my goals in the day. Why? Because I don't mess around on the highway. I feel like people get out on the road and just think that it's like washing laundry. Like, oh, now I'm just on the highway. We're driving here, folks. Pay attention, wake up, participate in this event. But what's my point in telling you that story? People who are opportunistic do the exact same thing, except they do it with you. So they're watching you, they're plotting, they're planning, they're studying, but more than anything, they're looking to see where the holes are so they can capitalize on them. So for example, let's say I'm stuck behind a slow driver, but let's say that we're approaching another driver in the lane that's next to us that's going even slower. They're just up ahead a little bit. So I have two options. I can either just kind of stay stuck behind the slow driver, or if I'm patient and just wait, eventually, even though I'm behind a slow driver, that slow driver is still going faster than the other slow driver. So if I'm just patient and wait, and then I study the road that's around me and see what's coming up quickly, what else is out here. I'm studying the territory. If I'm just patient, all I have to do is wait till we catch up to the other slow car, be a little bit more patient, and wait until a lovely little hole opens up, and then I just dive right into it and I'm on about my business. It's not to be malicious or hurtful. It's just to get on about my business, And the funny thing is, if everyone followed the rules of the road, it would be very hard for me to do that, because in theory, there should be very few holes for me to capitalize on, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I'm digressing. My point is, narcissists and people who are opportunistic, that's what the term really kind of means. They're looking for opportunities and looking for holes to capitalize on so they can take advantage of it for some purpose. Now, here's the thing. Opportunistic actually has two connotations, because think about it like this. Let's say you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, and you are in a very competitive industry. And let's say that you see the trends shifting in a different direction. And because you took heed of that, and because you paid attention to the trends, you capitalized on it. You took advantage of the opportunity, and as a result, you had some profit or some success, or, something occurred as a result of you capitalizing on the opportunity. Or let's say that a job opens up somewhere and it's a dream job for you. And, you don't know what made you go ahead and apply to it, but something said apply to that job, and you did, and you ended up getting it. So in that situation, you capitalized on an opportunity. You were opportunistic in that sense, and you ended up getting your dream job. So being opportunistic is not always a bad thing. Being opportunistic becomes a bad thing when you do it to other people for the sake of exploitation, personal gain, for the sake of use, abuse, and then discard. Or just for the sake of, sucking dry whatever you can from that particular person. So in terms of a narcissist, when a narcissist is opportunistic, they're studying who you are as a person, Are you very naive? Are you generous to a fault, meaning that you are generous to where it almost cripples you? And you're struggling to pay your bills because you're so generous with other people. They're looking to see where those boundaries are. They're looking to see what you stand for, what your principles are, what your values are. Those are the kinds of things that they study to see where their opportunities are. Now, the people that narcissists walk away from are the ones where they don't see any holes. So you know what a frustrating day for me on the road is? A road where everyone is actually driving correctly, because when everyone drives correctly, there are very few holes. So, in the sense of applying that to this conversation, driving correctly in this sense means you know who you are. You have firm yet flexible boundaries in the sense of you're the gatekeeper. You let things in and out. You won't allow yourself to be mistreated. You know when you're being mistreated. That's huge. A lot of people don't even know when they're being mistreated. You actually are aware when you're being mistreated, and you speak up about it, and you don't let anyone convince you otherwise. So that's what I mean by everyone driving correctly in the narcissistic sense. So on the days where everyone is actually doing their part on the road and driving correctly, I have no holes, but at the same time, traffic is also moving. So it's kind of weird, and I hope this analogy is making sense. But that's why it's so important, and why I've done so many videos about how you learn to not trust yourself or invalidate yourself. How the narcissist sees your boundaries as like rubber bands and just super flexible, and they can just, do whatever they want to, stretch it, twist it, sling it across the room, slingshot it across the room, whatever. They're looking to see that. They're looking to see if you believe in fairy tales. I've kind of sort of covered that before in a video, and to see, do you even recognize when something is off? Because, naivete, and I hope I said that right, I'm not sure, or the state of being naive is a real thing, and people don't really give it the acknowledgement that it deserves, but people are actually naive. It is a real thing. And so they're looking to see, to what degree are you naive? But even if you're a naive person, to what degree do you pick up on when something is not right? That's the biggest thing. Do you pick up, even if you don't know how to explain it, you don't know what to call it, you don't know what's going on, but you know something is off? Do you even pick up on that, or do you make up a story to brush it off and just kind of pretend like it never happened? Or do you recite some cliche statement to yourself like, oh, well, everyone makes mistakes, to kind of brush off what has happened? Those are the holes that the narcissist is looking for. And that's what they capitalize on. They jump right in those holes and take advantage of you, and take advantage of, whatever it is that they see at the end of the road. So for me, what I see is an opportunity to get home. All I want is to really get home and eat and do everything else that I do when I get home. So, or whatever other errand I'm running. And the thing is, I really want the same thing for everyone else. Like, I want people to want to go home too. I want people to want to accomplish their goals for the day, but people just get out on the road and it's almost like they forget where they are. At least go the speed limit. You know what I mean? You could, if people at least would go the speed limit, I'd be satisfied. It would be a little annoying, but at least I couldn't complain. It's when they go under the speed limit and do it on like major highways. It's unreal to me. But now I'm just venting at this point. But anyway, I hope this analogy makes sense. The narcissist definitely has something that they see at the end of the road, and they're just looking to see what holes or what opportunities that they can capitalize on to get to that, whatever it is that you have at the end of the road. So I hope this has been an informative video for you. I've been thinking about it all day and waiting to get home to deliver it. So thank you guys so much. And as always, I grant you the permission to exist. Bye-bye.